A very warm welcome to you. It's a pleasure to have you join us again on Almond Finance and Wealth Report this week. As you know, we are source for latest happening information in the financial sector of the nation's economy. My name is Faith Wadi. On this edition of the program, we'll kick off by bringing you the exclusive interview I had with the Honorable Commissioner for Insurance Ghana, Ms. Lydia Lariba Bawa, where we looked at the Ghana insurance market, especially from the regulatory perspective. Speaking in the course of the interview, Ms. Bawa stated that life business is growing at 40% per annum, while non-life business is growing at 25% per annum in the Ghana insurance industry. On Insurance 101 this week, we continue with our special report on comprehensive business insurance for small to medium businesses as well as professional services companies. We also bring you highlights of the 10th annual project management lecture that took place recently at the Multipurpose Hall, University of Lagos. The theme of the lecture this year was the National Vision on Housing and Infrastructure, the Role of Project Management. The guest speaker was the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of ASO Savings and Loans PLC, Mr. Hassan Usman. These and more are what we have for you on the lineup this week, so I urge you as always to sit back, relax and spend this time with us. But all the details are coming to you after this break. Please stay with us. All right, so welcome back. On this set of Almond today, I have the honor and privilege to be hosting a very distinguished guest. I say that by the time I introduce her, you will know why I say she's very distinguished. Talking about the Honorable Commissioner for Insurance and Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Insurance Commission, who happens to be my mommy. Well, that's the way I usually address her. She's my guest on the program today. I'm talking about no other than Ms. Lydia Lariba Bawa. Together, we'll be looking at the insurance industry in Ghana, especially from the regulatory perspective. Thank you so very much, ma'am, for joining me on the program.
Thank you, Faith. Welcome to Ghana.
Thank you, ma'am.
It's an honor to be here.
Okay. Real quick, I'm going to start off by asking, what's the overview of the Ghana insurance market today in terms of performance?
Okay, thank you. The Ghanaian insurance industry has experienced tremendous growth over the past 6 years. It has been growing at about 30% per annum. The gross market premium crossed the 1 million CD mark at the end of 2013. It is, however, important to note that this is only life and non-life insurance. It excludes health insurance and pensions. The life sector has, however, been growing at a faster rate than the non-life sector. It is growing at a rate of 40% per annum, while the non-life sector is growing at 25% per annum. The ratio of the life to non-life insurance has moved from about 20% to a ratio of 20% to 80% from the past 5 years to 45% to 55% as at the end of 2013. And it is anticipated that life premiums will outgrow non-life premiums in the next 5 years.
That's giving other market. That's a beautiful trend. Yeah. So what would you say is responsible for that?
We have created some awareness, and people are appreciating the need to take life insurance policies. So that is what is surprisingly for properties they are not so much interested, but taking insurance on their lives. We have created that awareness and people are responding.
That's interesting.
Yes.
Okay, now you brought a lot of dynamism into the system in terms of regulation since you assumed office as Commissioner for Insurance. What has been your major challenge?
The major problem has been the poor management of insurance claims. And that's eroded the confidence that the public had in the insurance industry. But the reasons why the insurance companies were not able to meet claims was because they were faced with liquidity problems. They were underwriting on credit. In fact, as at the end of 2013, only 35% of underwritten premium was collected. So 65% of this was on credit. So I decided to do something drastic. And I introduced the no premium, no cover policy with effect from 1st April. And this has been very successful. Initially, there was a little bit of problem because people were not really, into paying premiums upfront. But after a month or two, it picked up, and we've been monitoring. So it's been very successful, and we are hoping that claims now will be paid promptly and adequately. Another challenge has been the low insurance penetration. Insurance still contributes less than 2% to gross domestic products. Considering that the insurance is an important sector of the economy, this is very worrying. So we are working round the clock to make sure that we increase our contribution to GDP. The NIC has collaborated with the German International Corporation to develop and promote microinsurance as a means of growing penetration. Closely related to that is the issue of low financial literacy. The average Ghanaian has a very low appreciation of financial issues in general and insurance in particular. This directly affects voluntary demand for insurance. So we are working on those ones. We are embarking on the educational campaigns to be able to create the awareness so that people will appreciate the need to buy insurance. Inadequate capitalization of insurance companies is another major problem. Inadequate capitalization adversely affects the retention capacity of insurance companies. It therefore leads to premium or capital flight. Inadequate capitalization of companies also contributes to their inability to acquire the resources they need, for instance, both human and capital, to be able to operate efficiently. So the NIC has therefore introduced a risk-based capital adequacy framework that requires insurance companies in Ghana to at least have a minimum statutory capital of 15 million by the end of this year, 2015. Every insurance company must have a minimum capital of 15 million.
Okay, well, I'm going to stop you on that. In every sector,
yes,
operators are often seen as the bad guys. So is this minimum capital issue, is it, how's the response from the market?
Oh, we have had some, with this, usually, even as a regulator, you need to consult your stakeholders, the regulated entities. They themselves have realized that they have low capacity, especially when it comes to retaining businesses. So we have a lot of businesses going out of it. And we consulted them, we engaged them, and they also have seen the need to recapitalize. So that I anticipate that at the end of it, we may even have mergers and acquisitions so that they can build, a strong base to be able to underwrite businesses. We have also asked that at least the companies would also be required to keep solvency capital commensurate with the level of risk that they retain. So we have the minimum capital and then the minimum solvency that they should have. Okay. And we have engaged them on this matter, and it will take effect from 2015. By the end of 2015.
Okay, now moving on. Oil and gas business is emerging in Ghana. What is the Commission doing by way of regulation to ensure adequate retention and to avoid capital flights. I'm sure that's related to what
adequacy of, yes. The National Insurance Commission has liaised with the Petroleum Commission in Ghana to issue guidelines for the placement of all upstream oil and gas insurance businesses in Ghana. Now, what we have done is we realize that individually the companies do not have the capacity to underwrite or retain adequate, businesses in Ghana. So they came together, the Ghanaian market, the underwriters, non-life underwriters came together and formed a pool. So that even then the capacity is still about 1%. But we are saying that what was happening before then was that businesses, the operators will take businesses outside the country because they assumed that the nation did not have the capacity. So now we entered into some agreement with the Petroleum Commission. We formed some guidelines that were launched in October last year by the Minister of Finance. And it makes it compulsory for all businesses, upstream oil and gas businesses, to be underwritten by only the pool. It is when the pool has exhausted its capacity, then it will decide to reinsure the remainder outside the country. And this is also in line with our local content requirements. So that is how we are managing it for now. Yes.
Okay, so how has it been? Because I ask this because in the Nigerian market, you find that the law on local content is there. Issue of capacity is also there. But they've also had this issue coming and going of having the operators retain at least a substantial part of the business within the Nigerian market. And that borders on implementation of those laws, the local content law and all that. Yeah. So how is the Commission going on?
So we are enforcing it strictly. Okay. In fact, we've had instances where some companies have violated the law by some individual insurance companies, even in Ghana. Instead of being members of the pool, directing these businesses into the pool, they decided to underwrite the businesses themselves. When we got to know, we sanctioned them. And we made sure that the businesses were redirected into the pool. So this is what we are doing. We are still monitoring. Out of the 24, operators in our market, we realize only 6 have consistently been bringing businesses into the pool. So the question we're asking is, what about the others? Where are they taking this business? So we've decided to form a task force that will go around and find out where those insurance businesses are being taken to. And then we'll take it up from there.
Section 4. Group Life Insurance. Group life insurance benefits are arranged in multiples of employee salary, say 3 or 5 times annual salary, or in a lump sum, and it is payable on death either through natural or accidental means. The Pension Reform Act 2014 makes group life insurance compulsory for employers of labor having not less than 3 employees. Section 5. Keyman Insurance. Keyman Insurance is an important form of business insurance which is taken out by a business owner to compensate the business for financial losses that would arise from the death or extended incapacity of an important member of the business. Section 6. Professional Indemnity Insurance. Professional indemnity insurance provides cover for professionals such as insurance brokers, lawyers, accountants, doctors, etc., for their legal liability towards third-party injury, loss, or damage arising from their professional negligence or that of their employees. Section 7. Public Liability Insurance. Public liability insurance provides indemnity on the insured's legal liability to pay compensation to the members of the public other than their own insured employees in respect of accidental death, bodily injury, or property damage caused by the employees or operation of the insured in the course of their normal duties.
Alright, welcome back. Moving on, we bring you highlights of the 10th Annual Project Management Lecture put together by the Department of Building, University of Lagos, that took place recently at the Multipurpose Hall. The theme of the lecture this year was the National Vision on Housing and Infrastructure, the Role of Project Management. Delivering the theme paper, the guest speaker, Malam Hassan Usman, Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of ASO Savings and Loans PLC, stated that delivering affordable houses for Nigerians will take a longer time because of the high interest rates.
Project management is the process and activity of planning, organizing, motivating, and controlling resources, procedures, and protocols to achieve specific goals in scientific or daily problems. As a discipline, project management developed from several fields of application, including civil construction, engineering, and heavy defense activity. Recently, the Department of Building of the University of Lagos put together the 10th Annual Project Management Lecture at the Multipurpose Hall. The theme of the lecture this year was National Vision on Housing and Infrastructure, the Role of Project Management. Chairman was Professor Mohammed Al-Amin, Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, Federal Housing Authority, while the guest speaker was Mr. Hassan Usman, Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of ASO Savings and Loans PLC. Welcoming guests to the lecture on behalf of the Vice Chancellor, Professor Duro Oni, DVC, Management Sciences, called for a symbiotic relationship between the university and the private sector.
The graduates of our program are in the commanding heights of different sectors of our national economy. While the university continues to encourage capacity building in project management, it further solicits the assistance of the private sector in provision of facilities to support the students and teaching faculty of the project management program. The ultimate aim is to further increase access to project management education, cutting-edge research, and best practices in the country. A symbiosis and partnership between the university and the private sector will unarguably help our nation. A unique feature of this year's lecture is the inauguration of the alumni of the Department of Building. These are past graduates of any of our undergraduate and postgraduate programs in the department. The inauguration of the alumni of the Department of Building is one of the ways of creating this partnership.
The primary challenge of project management is to achieve all of the project goals and objectives while honoring the preconceived constraints. Delivering his keynote address, the chairman of the occasion, Professor Mohammed Al-Amin, said that providing housing finance to all Nigerians is non-negotiable.
Housing finance to every Nigerian is a non-negotiable thing that we must pursue. Every adult in this country and the world over need this very important thing to own. And choosing ASO Savings and Loan to come and give us this wonderful presentation and lecture are key into the fact that you actually understand the context of this theme, and I'm sure the guest lecturer is going to do justice to it by telling us how the 3 A's of affordability, accessibility, and availability could key into whatever is available so that we have many houses through very many different systems and models of its delivery.
Traditionally, project management includes a number of elements. Regardless of the methodology or terminology used, the same basic project management processes will be used. Delivering the theme lecture, the guest speaker, Mr. Usman, MD CEO, ASO Savings and Loans PLC, said that the challenge of infrastructure will take a long time because of the high interest rates.
We live in an environment in which interest rates are very, very high. So even taking on a mortgage, assume you take a mortgage today at what I would call maybe the average mortgage rate, you're paying at least about 18% per annum. Yeah, it is almost usurious, that kind of rate, because in a normal operating environment with a mortgage sector that is fully functional, interest rates really should not be more than about single digit. Yeah, but we have challenges, and unfortunately that's where we are. If the federal government itself is borrowing at 12-13%, don't forget the federal government has the capacity to simply go out there and keep on printing more naira notes. So if the guy who's in charge of that is borrowing at 12-13%, it means that nobody in the economy can borrow at less than what the federal government can borrow. So all the rates are north of what the federal government is borrowing at. Regulatory bottlenecks. Now, the challenges that we're faced with infrastructure-wise require innovative solutions. Some of those solutions require public-private partnerships. We don't have an environment today that is clear-cut that says this is how you go about developing a PPP for an airport, for a toll road, for a port, etc.
Other speakers were Mrs. Ekon Etim Eyakenyi, Honorable Minister of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, and a host of others. The current housing need in Nigeria stands at 17 million. This need must be met by the year 2020. While many believe that this is a tall order, experts, however, suggest that with effective project management, many more people can have decent and affordable houses in Nigeria because they will manage resources better, cut waste, and produce better projects of quality.
Alright, that's the time on this edition of the program. I do hope you thoroughly enjoyed it. Like I always say here, for comments, questions, observations, do feel free to get in touch with us on 017763981 or 08033357879, or better still send us an email, almond4xx@yahoo.com or almondproduction@gmail.com. You can also visit us on our website, www.almondreports.com. Like us on our Facebook page, Almond Finance and Wealth Reports, and view past episodes of this program on our YouTube channel, Almond Reports TV. Join us every Wednesday by 9:45 a.m. live on Niger FM 102.7 for our Pidgin English program called Waiting Insurance They Do Safe. My name is Faith Ugwade. Until same time, same station next week, when we'll come your way with a fresh package of this program from all of us here. It's goodbye.